You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Fashion Star After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Fashion Star After Show.
Oh, yeah. Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another episode of Fashion Star Season 2, Night Out on the Town. And I am your host, Erika Vieira, and I am joined with my lovely co-host and a special guest. Introduce your guys.
Hey guys, it's Virginia. And I'm Johana Hernandez from Fashion Star.
Yay! So we are so excited to have Johana in the house tonight, where she can dish and give out all the info for Fashion Star, the insider information.
Yeah, as long as you guys don't tell anyone, I will tell you everything. That's what we like to hear over here.
Yeah, for sure. So why don't we get started talking about this episode, and we can kind of start from the beginning, or Johana, if you have any kind of initial thoughts about this particular episode, because as our viewers know, I mean, it aired on Friday, unfortunately. It was your last week there. So do you have any thoughts overall on just this particular episode?
Yeah, this episode was really fun. I mean, I won a car, guys. I won a Fiat, and it was just amazing. It was an amazing episode just because we were able to do so many things. I was able to sell my design to Macy's, but at the same time do this campaign with this amazing photographer and with my team. And it was just amazing to win the challenge and to hopefully get that campaign with Fiat and then have a Fiat. So it was just really great to get to do all these things in one shot in one episode.
So
yeah.
this I would say this episode they paired you guys up again, and it was interesting because I had thought that maybe they were gonna split up the teams somehow, not just keep it with the same mentors, but you guys had the opportunity to work with your teammates again.
Yeah.
So Johana, you were working with Daniel again. How was that for you, and what were your thoughts initially when it was like, oh, a team challenge again?
Well, I think all of us were already kind of overdoing like the partner challenges because we were so in advance of the competition. It was already the 7th episode out of 10, so we were just like really like surprised. But it was just really cool because it was the whole photo shoot concept was really like fun to do. But I mean, it's just really hard, you know, like it's really hard when I had Daniel who's freaking out over here that he's gonna get kicked out, and I have to like help him get grounded so we win. So it was just that's the challenge that, you know, when you're working on a team, it's not just about yourself. You have to make sure you help the other person too.
Yeah.
Now, you know, I immediately thought when I saw your photo, they are absolutely going to win. Did you feel that same way? Did you get to see everybody else's photos?
We didn't see anyone else's photos, but when I saw everyone else's, I felt like everyone had it was a different kind of photo for everyone. So I felt like, you know, it just depends what people prefer. And I did think our photo was really amazing, and I love the attitude that we had. It was very modern, very cool, very a girl's night out on the town. You know, it's very like what's happening now and like what the cool girls do.
I actually think for your photo, if we're talking about it, what was great about your photo, in my opinion, was that it was really relatable to, I think, the audience of the show and the type of buyers that they're, I'm not saying buyers like the store buyers, but the kind of people that would purchase the items from Fashion Star. It's like for me, or like, you know, a girl watching this, that was my favorite photo as well, because it's exactly what you said. It was like a girl's night on the town. Like, I know that Hunter and Jesse and Garrett and Jessie Ray, you know, they had a beautiful photo as well, but that was like and not everyone can relate to that. whereas your guys' photos was really relatable and just super fun and sexy. And you had that car, and I loved your guys' photograph.
Thank you.
I definitely felt like you wanted to be those girls in the car. You know, like that's how I like the other photos. I was like, yeah, I'm not really that girl. They look more like the model that you see.
Very
in
aspirational.
Yeah, you know, and it wasn't the same, and it was definitely more relatable with your photo, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Who thought of, like, whose idea was it?
It was a team. It was a team idea, and you know what was great about it is that our designs really look like the cars. Like my design had like the details of the metal and like the black and the red from the car, and even like the mesh on the sleeves looked like the grill mesh on the car, and then also Daniel's kind of had that like look with the zipper in the back, look of tires like burning down, and it was just really great to have our dresses like really represent the cars, you know, because that was one of the challenges too. And the thing that we really thought about is like, even though we're trying to make our designs be inspired by the cars, we need to make sure they sell, you know, like we can't just do artsy pieces that look exactly like the cars, like really couture, but we can do something that they're gonna love, and they could also love it for the campaign.
Yeah, and so just to recap the episode at the beginning, so basically you guys had the challenge to work in teams. It was a team challenge again, and Fiat was, you know, involved in this challenge where you had to create a style kind of representing the car. They had a whole photo shoot, and like you said, the challenge was to both make that connection with the car, but also to be very sellable. So so there was your team Nicole, Johana and Daniel. Team Jessica Simpson was Jesse Rain Garrett and Hunter. And then Team John was Sylvia and Cassandra. So, Johana, what was your opinion of the other teams and kind of, not so much like their items or anything, but how they work together as a team?
Yeah, you know, when you're working in this show, like you're so busy working on your own piece.
You don't even see.
Well, some of the contestants like to see and get involved and stuff, but for me, like I really like to stay focused, because if you lose your focus, you lose time. I mean, we have like 45 minutes to think about and draw out our designs with knowing the challenge like right on the time they tell you have 45 minutes. And then you have like, after that, you have to give it to your pattern maker and just make sure that's the design you want, because then you go out to buy fabric, and then you get like a few minutes to get the fabric, and you come back. So all your time is so precious, because there was some things that didn't show is that there's designers that are running around last minute trying to put buttons on or zippers or things, like they're just trying to sew on things last minute, and I didn't want that to be me, because that's very stressful. Like I always want to have like the best design with the details. Like the details are so important, you know, that you need to make sure everything's very finished, because that's what's going to make your design stand out and look great on the runway.
Now, I know you guys have a stylist on set, but do you get to have a say in the styling of it all?
Yeah, we do. Our stylist is Daniel, and he's like Daniel Mosa, and he's really great because he listens to what we want, and he really gets to like see our designs. He starts with looking at our fabrics and our sketch, and then he really gets inspired by that and by how we like, you know, how we describe our design. So it's really great that he listens to us, and then he brings ideas that we like. And if we don't like anything, he brings something new. But I feel like so far he really did get it. Like you understand what we wanted.
Yeah, you could tell too with like the designs going down the runway. It actually makes a huge difference, I think, in how they look. So, how was the experience with you on the photo shoot and like seeing your designs, and how much input did you have there at the photo shoot itself?
Yeah, it was just so fun to do the photo shoot. It was at the rooftop, and it was amazing. It was really windy, as you saw. So my hair was like blowing out. I'm like, I should be in the photo shoot myself. I was like,
diva.
Hello, turn the photo here. But it was just really fun because we had a lot to play with, and you know, being a team and having, you know, Tim also be the photographer, it was really nice to just like, he's amazing, so you know that whatever he's gonna do, it's gonna be great. So it was really nice to just like make sure that our dresses stand out, but also make sure that he finds the perfect shot. And he wouldn't stop taking photos until he felt that he found that one shot. And we had two actually. Like I don't know if you saw the second one, maybe not, but there was one where they were like running. And
they didn't really show that one.
I don't think they showed that one because there's two options. There's when they were like running, and then the car's like burning tires, and they look like they're like, you know, like ready, like they're going out on the town, but they're like, you know, let's go, you know.
Yeah.
So that one was one of the second best that we liked. But it was just really fun to try different things, you know. And the models were amazing. My model was Katrina, and she was just like amazing. I loved her.
So did you have the same model throughout the whole season?
No, we got to work with different models, and that's the thing that was really hard too, is that you never know who your model is going to be. So when you're designing, you can't expect to have like the same, you know, body, so you have to like design to a different body all the time.
Right.
And that's what makes it challenging, because you have to make sure it fits. You know?
Right, and we had Talisha on here last season, and she is pretty busty for a model, you know? And I noticed that actually when she was walking down the runway this last episode, I was like, man, that has to be hard, because it's like, how much seam allowance do you give, and how much tailoring do you have to do within that time?
Yeah, so like once you know who your models are, you have to like make sure they fit. And the worst thing is, like, for me, thank God it didn't happen, but like if you're designing a dress, let's say you make it too small, and then you get Talisha, who's more curvy, and you're gonna have to redo the whole thing and make sure it fits her, you know, because if it doesn't fit, it's not gonna look good down the runway.
Yeah. So your mentor was Nicole Richie. So how was it like working with her?
I love Nicole Richie. I loved how she chose us, and she handpicked me. I was like, yay, because she's like a muse for many girls. Like she's like the coolest girl. Like she's a trendsetter. She has her own style. Like when you see Nicole, or when you see anything that, like when you're shopping, you see something that kind of looks like boho chic, you're like, oh, that's so Nicole Richie. You know what I mean? So she has her style, and I loved working with her. She was very supportive. She really like let me be myself, but at the same time, she was like, you know, I love it if you could do a little bit of this. You know, like she added little touches. It gave us compliments to change things very little, but I love that she supported our work. Like she wasn't like, oh my gosh, you have to change it and do what I want. You know,
Were any of the other mentors kind of like that?
There was times where John Barbados, for instance, would tell some of their contestants, I think it was Amber maybe, like, you need to change the entire fabric because it doesn't work, which was a good advice, but it just kind of throws off designers when they already went to the fabric store and they bought fabric and they have to go back and get more. Like, I mean, you're losing time, you know what I mean? And not all of us have to do that. Like, we have one shot to get fabric, and then we have to run with it, you know?
Well, speaking of that, there was one time a few episodes ago where you just completely scrapped your design, the jumper. How did, like, what moment was it where you were just like, this isn't going to work, I need to go get something else?
Yeah, so with me, it wasn't Nicole telling me that. It wasn't my mentor telling me that. I bought a fabric that it was about the same color, but my fabric felt like it was like too sheer. So I felt like, you know, when you have a light fabric and it shows like the seams of your bra, like it's just too like, it was just too drapey for me. So I felt like I needed to get something else. So I got like a silk knit that was about the same color that wouldn't affect like the whole look that we were thinking of. So I went to get that because I was like, I can't have my model down the runway and you could see like all her, you know, undergarments. Like that's not chic. That's not what I'm looking for, you know? And we shop so fast that sometimes when you feel the fabric, you don't see it until you have it on the person.
And the way they presented it though, it looked like you just kind of took off. They kind of create a little bit of drama around that whole, yeah. Is that really what it was, or was that just like editing the way they made it look?
Well, all I did is I told Priscilla, but I didn't show that part. I told her that, you know, like I have to go get fabric. Please tell Daniel, because when you could go get fabrics, there's not opportunities all the time, so you just have to go. If not, you don't have an opportunity.
You're done. Yeah.
So I had it that way, but it turned out something else. But I was just so happy that I stayed focused, because you know, like if you don't stay focused, like you could lose your focus and then forget it. Like it's over, you know. And I'm so glad I was able to make it like really close towards the end.
So going back to Nicole, so how much interaction do you really have with the mentors? Do you really think it's valuable, just that interaction?
Yeah, I loved having the interaction with Nicole because I feel like she was part of season 1, you know what I mean? So she has higher expectations for season 2. And it was really nice to hear her feedback because she really knows what the buyers want and she really knows what they're going to pick at us from and what they're going to tell us, you know? So I really felt that it was really good every time we talked to her because she kind of gave us confirmation that we were on the right path. And whether we want to take the advice or not, well, that was our choice. And it's better when you do because they know what they want, you know?
Yeah, because we've seen during the show and other episodes when they haven't taken the advice, and it's kind of like...
yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. I think, Steven, you can start putting the pictures up of the styles.
Hey, one sec.
Okay, so we'll go through, unless there's anything else you want to talk about with Fia and the photo shoots and all that, no? Okay, so then everyone had a chance, obviously, to design their design for the photo shoot, and then you know, the opportunity for the buyers to buy. Yeah. So I guess we'll start with Team John, with Sylvia and Cassandra. And this is Sylvia's leather little like suit outfit. What did you guys think about this?
You know, I love Sylvia, but I was not the biggest fan of this. And I don't know if maybe it just didn't show as well on the runway when we saw it. But, you know, I really didn't think it was going to get a buy. Because it's like it's summer, and I know it's like a night out, and maybe it's just because we live in LA, and I'm like, I would never wear a jacket on a night out. But it wasn't my favorite from Sylvia. I think I just really expect a little bit more from her.
I loved it. I loved it. Like, it came down the runway, and I was like, oh my God, I want that. I love that color, and I'm here in LA too, but I always want a little jacket when I go out because I'm always cold no matter what, even if it's the summer. And I'm always looking for like different cuts of leather jackets. I always feel like that's the one thing, like, unless you go to a really good designer, they're hard to find. And I love this. I wasn't surprised she got a buy. And she got a buy from Express, $175,000. An initial bid also from Saks, but then Express flew him away with $175,000. So I personally was not surprised. I loved it. I thought it went with the theme of the car. It was really sexy, the night out. It just, to me, I thought it was awesome. I don't know. What do you think?
I thought it was good. I mean, it's a different style, a different look that what Janu and I went with. We went with more like modern, cool. Like this is more sophisticated. So I thought it was good. I think people could wear it, and it's understandable. But I mean, it's her idea of what she thinks the Fiat is. And she said she's from Italy, so that was her concept of it.
Okay, the Italian leather jacket, I get that part of it, but like I'm thinking I'm not gonna wear that to go out. Like when I'm thinking night out, I want to look sexy.
Yeah.
You know, like this. I don't know.
I think it looks great, except nobody's going to wear it as an outfit. They're going to wear it in parts.
Yeah, that too.
Thanks, Lemieux.
No, but I agree.
Where did that come from?
The jacket, like, yeah, I would have a dress on, and I always bring a jacket. I always do, because, you know, and I might stuff it somewhere during the night, but I always have to have a jacket. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. Teach their own.
Exactly.
So, well, we're gonna. I wasn't able to get a picture of Cassandra's outfit.
Oh, because it didn't get bought.
Yeah. So it was hard to find.
Yeah.
It actually was. No, but that's what happened.
Like
it was hard to find.
It doesn't go into the store.
And it was hard to find a photo of it online. So
drama.
tell us how you really feel. So we can talk about it though. So Cassandra had that flowy skirt with that, you know, and they focused a lot on like her choice of fabric and how it emulated like the oil and the colors, and then that top. What did you guys think about Cassandra's outfit?
I thought it was too literal. Like the oil in the car, I get it, but like who wants to wear a skirt that's oil in the car? Like, I don't know. And then the silver, I mean, maybe it, like, I always try to think maybe it looks different.
Maybe your car broke down and your car just has through oil in your dress.
Right. I don't want to look like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
And why do you want that?
You know, so I, you know, sometimes she does really great things, and then I feel like it's hit or miss with her. You never know, I feel like. And I don't know. I just didn't. I was not a fan.
Not a fan.
No.
What about you, Johana?
For me, it was just more about, yeah, the oil in the car, that's one thing, but maybe she's trying to be artistic, I guess. But I think like what was the worst thing about it was that it's really complicated. Like when she had it hanging, there's so many little straps on it. Like a person wouldn't really understand how to wear it if it's not hanging right on the hanger.
Hanger
Like it was like
huge.
it had too many straps. It was overcomplicated. Something that the mentors actually told her. But again, it's your choice of taking the advice or not. So for me, it's just that it was really hard to wear, to put on, and again, like the oil stains. Maybe like if you don't say that, maybe you'll look like something else, you know. But the hardest part is how to wear it. You have to make sure it could stay on your body. It's not like falling off while you're talking, because that's like that would be terrible.
You can't, like, I don't know, just things like that you can't wear a bra with. That's not very.
I know we always talk about that here. It's like fashion, especially like.
And if the fabric's thin, that would be terrible. You don't want to be like super flashy where you don't, you know, that's
like
not tasteful.
No. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, what threw me off is like the fit of the top, and you guys kind of mentioned that too. Like I was like, that top just didn't look like it fit at all. It looked like, to me, it looked like she had a concept in her mind for the top, and because things were rushed, it looked thrown together. Yeah. It didn't look tailored or fit at all. And then I think that then threw off the skirt, because I do think the skirt was unusual, it was different, it was cool, it was literal, but I think I think the concept was cool, but it wasn't executed correctly.
It could have been cool. It could have been cool, and I think it was just exactly.
So
poor execution gets you every time.
And she didn't get any buys, and even Saks said that less is more. You know, think less is more. And
that's the thing about us designers. It's like when you're starting as a designer, when you're like trying to be too over artistic, it's like you always have to remember that a woman has to feel confident in your designs, and she has to be able to stand out without looking like drama, you know, without looking like, oh gosh, what are you wearing?
A
Who
hot
do you think you are,
mess,
like
yeah.
Lady Gaga? Like, you know, we're not all Lady Gaga. Like, I love her and everything, but like we can't be everyday dressed that way, you know? So, and even her, she has her own way of making it cool, but when you just overdo clothes, like it's really hard to wear. Like you always have to remember it has to be a statement piece, something they could wear with different outfits, and they can make them feel confident. They can make it sexy, or they can make it more sophisticated, but without being over the top, because then you can't change things too much.
I think that's why you are very successul, because you know, like you think about that, like you think about who is my customer, why would they wear this, where would they wear this, you know, like you really are relatable. And that's really what I appreciated about your designs.
Like I really wanted to make sure that you guys, like when you bought something of me, like it would last you for a long time. It's like those pieces that you can just accessorize it differently and just make it something new. You know, like the sex sells dress, that was like super sexy, but it wasn't trashy, and it wasn't like you're just like showing off everything, you know. But what's sexy about it is that you had a slit and you had an underdress that was short, and you know, the sheer sleeves, like it was nice.
Right.
Do you feel that when you're having your designs bought, do you think, obviously the purpose of the show is to get it bought by every store.
Yeah.
But is it like, is someone more excited, say, when Saks buys, because they know that the actual dress itself might be a little bit higher quality, better fabrics, versus, say, Express or Macy's? Or does that really...
To me, I was excited for all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's really cool how like they sell to other stores. I mean, Macy's has a huge amount of stores, and Express does too. And Saks, it's more about the prestige of it, you know? So wherever you go, as long as you sell, like I think it's a big honor to be in those stores. And being a young designer, like I'm only 26 years old, you know, and selling to these big corporate brands and being on the show, it's like, wow, like it's just a dream come true to like have been chosen and gotten to sell to all these people. And the best part for us is when they get bid wars. Like I had bid wars like a lot of times. Like I was literally like, like I was like, oh my gosh, more money, oh my gosh. You know, like it's just amazing to have these buyers believe in you so much that they're willing to fight for you and, you know, pay more and more and more until like they're like, okay, I can't afford it anymore, you know?
So Johana, remind all the listeners, so how much total did you sell with Fashion Star, and who did you sell to?
So I don't have a total because I'm like overshot, but it's over $500,000.
Oh my God.
So
amazing.
So I haven't totaled it up exactly. I know
Plus
I have
the car.
and I got a car, and the show's going to be in 150 countries, so it's a pretty great experience, you know. But yeah, like I sold every single episode. There was only one episode that they didn't sell, which was the Plus Challenge, but it was just really great that from there it was just like I even said it. I was like, I'm on a roll, you know. So it was really nice.
Did every store bought you, right?
Every store bought me, and they were like having bid wars over me, and it was just really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, let's move on to the next style. So we've got, this is Jessie Ray and Garrett's pants. Oh, and blouse. What do you guys think about this? Team Jessica.
I loved the color choices. I mean, emerald is just, I don't know, I always love jewel tone colors. And I felt like it could just appeal to so many different women and so many different sizes. I really like the pants too. They're nice and flowy.
Yeah.
The palazzo pants.
These pants, actually, now that I'm starting to remember, he was like, Garrett was my great friend in the show. Like, we really connected, and he would ask me for advice. He had like a print that was a lace print, and then the one that was like more of a Versace scarf print, and he went more for the Versace scarf print. But he was like, what do you think? Like, what do you think? Which one? Because you like sometimes we go shopping, we get options, and then we put ourselves in like, oh my gosh, I don't know which one to choose, you know? So it was really great that I was like, you need to get the scarf print because that one's gonna sell. Like, and it's cool when you have those relationships with your friends, like in the show, like you want to help them because at the end of the day, it's like it's not just about you, because you know, if you sell and your friend sells, we're still in the competition together. You know, I mean, towards the end maybe it changes for them, but for Garrett and I, like we were always very like helpful with each other, and it was really nice to help him out and to see all the buyers go crazy for his pant. Like it was amazing, and I think it looks beautiful.
I agree with you. I love the printed pant. We don't have the picture of it here, but I thought the printed pant was so cool.
Well, and I think sometimes when you are designing, like, and especially like as fast paced as it is, sometimes you're like so far in it, you need someone else's advice who kind of isn't out there or isn't in the same, you know, boat as you. It's like, oh, hey, okay, give me your advice because I'm
someone on the outside.
Exactly. Just a little bit of help. And that was amazing. I was like, I want those pants so bad. But of course, everything always sells out so fast for us West Coast people.
Mainly in Express and Macy's because the prices are so
Because of
great.
prices.
So cheaper.
Yep.
Like we're like, wow.
Well, when actually something that I really like gets bought from Saks, I get like, oh.
Me too.
Because I know it's going to be like really
bummed. I'm like,
expensive.
guess I can't have that one.
But if you guys really want it, it's only going to be there once. So shop
That's true
away.
too. That's true too. I've definitely been doing some shopping, so there's some good stuff out there. All right, we can move on to the next item, which is Hunter's dress, which she got a lot of criticism, it seemed, from this dress from both the mentors and the buyers. What do you think about this?
Okay, I like Hunter. I was seriously upset about this dress. Because when she said Met Gala, I was thinking she's going to have this huge ball gown. And, you know, like you just think Met Gala and you just think of these couture pieces and volume. And then I got this and I was like, okay, I feel like I could get this somewhere like in Manhattan Beach. Like I was just very, very bummed about it. And then, I don't know. I mean, I liked the colors, but I liked the dress. But I was very sad that this is what came out for this challenge.
Yeah, well, Caprice herself, the Macy's buyer, mentioned that, so it was nice that she saw that too, you know, and she told her, like, you didn't meet the challenge, but I'm buying the dress because it could sell, you know what I mean? So it was like, I mean, at least it's a wearable piece,
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I actually liked the dress. I liked the floral print, but I totally agree. It did not fit the challenge. It did not go with Jessie and Garrett's item, didn't go with the car at all, and it had nothing to do with the Met Gala. Like, it was not that kind of a dress. So I thought it was actually a really beautiful dress, and I really like it, especially the print. But it just was not part of the challenge.
It's because they were having issues too, like as a team, like trying to work together. Like Garrett thought about this and Jessie, and then she was thinking like, "You guys need it." Did you hear her? Like,
yeah.
And then Garrett and Jessie Ray's outfit was amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like it's really hard when you're in the competition because you're so like you have so much in your mind. There's so much pressure that you don't. Sometimes you oversee that some of the problems aren't the other people. It's like your design, but you're just trying to do so good that you forget sometimes.
You
to
have
look
your
at
baby that you're like so connected to. It's hard to almost like disassociate from that.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought it was so funny that they were like, we don't know what the Met Gala is.
I know.
And I was like, oh, you're such boys. I was like, how do you not know what the Met Gala is?
And they're so fabulous.
And they are. I mean, I was cool because I was able to hang out with them in Malibu and all that, and they're so cool. I love them. They're everyone so far we've met. Well, just them and you, but they've all been awesome from the show. But yeah, Hunter got bought by Saks for $65,000. Jessie and Garrett also got bought as well. So let's move on to team Nicole, your team.
Yay!
So this is Daniel's dress. So what did you think of your teammate Daniel's dress?
I like the dress. I thought it was, something every woman could wear. It's a simple silhouette. It's easy. It like I like the zipper in the back. I thought the zipper in the back was cool. So I think it's a dress that women could wear. I thought it was great.
You can never have enough black dresses.
Yeah.
I thought it could appeal to many different body types. So I liked it.
I liked it too. I mean, it was, what I thought was interesting though is how they talked about for you, Johana, it seemed like you were getting the entire episode the criticism that you're too safe,
Yeah, and I'm not.
But yeah, I don't get that sense from you at all, by the way. But if anything, like I thought this dress was way more safe than your dress. So like, when I was watching it, I really liked this dress a lot. I like Daniel's dress. I think the zipper in the back is cool. I like the fit. I like the way it looks on the model. But I have to say, if they're going to throw out that something's, not taking risk or whatever, I would have to say that dress way more than yours. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, for me as a designer is like the goal of being on Fashion Star is to be able to sell to all 3 retailers and able to sell. Like, I mean, hello, like every episode, all of the viewers, thanks to all the divas out there, have been like buying my designs. It's been selling out like before the episode finishes. I mean, that's what a Fashion Star is. Like, you're supposed to be so good at what you do that the designs they can't even stay, in the source because everyone wants them. I've gotten so many messages from everyone like, oh my gosh, I want this jumpsuit. Like, why isn't it here anymore? I want to get it. Like,
that jumpsuit. Oh my God. We were like obsessed with it.
We were like, what is going on East Coast? Why are you not letting us?
I couldn't even find my own size. I had to like go all the way to Express Corporate.
They wouldn't even give you one?
No, because it sold out so fast that it just.
But they don't have a reserve for Johana herself.
I had my sample size that I keep.
Okay.
But I am a full-figured girl, so I need like a bigger size. So like it was sold out, and I was just like, wow. Like I mean, it's pretty cool when you're mad that gosh, it sold out so fast.
Yeah, that's true. That's a problem, that what they call them, champagne problems.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So I think during Fashion Star, I had a lot of champagne problems. And maybe that's why I left, because I was too many problems.
So let's show the next photo. So here's your dress.
Drama.
Tell us the drama. What's the drama?
The drama is that the dress will make you stand out from wherever you go. What I loved about what I really was inspired by my dress, like I mentioned, the car. If you look at the Fiat, we had the red and black car. It has the car is red on the outside and black on the inside. Something that you couldn't see in my dress is when you hang it, like the inside of the dress is all red.
Oh,
and it has like a really great hanger appeal. And then the details on the silhouette, which is like a slimming silhouette. You know what I mean? It makes you look thinner. It gives you that shape, hourglass shape. It's just really sexy, and having those sheer sleeves.
I love the sheer sleeves.
Yeah.
I love sheer sleeves.
I think what's great about having a short dress to not look like it's not tasteful is to have long sleeves. Like if you're gonna have a short dress, have long sleeves, because that's what makes you look like more together, and it doesn't look like you're trying to be like a girl from the club or something.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? It looks tasteful. So I really like the sheer sleeves, and it had like, I don't know if you saw the hem, it had like a little shape at the bottom. So there's a lot of details. There's a zipper in the back too, and it's a dress that any woman in any figure could wear, you know, and it's just, I just really wanted to always do that, because Macy's, I don't know if you've seen the website, they sell up to size 18 in my designs.
Right.
And your designs, do they do that for all of the designs? Or do they pick certain ones?
I don't know. I don't know, to be honest, but every time I've seen my designs, they come up to size 18. Like this blouse that I'm wearing is from the buyer's choice, and it came up to size 18. So it's really nice to have all women be able to purchase a dress.
I was going to ask you that. So you got to buy some of your own too?
Well, you get them, and if you want to buy some, you can buy some. So I think it's really great to be able to cater to all sizes, which is the best thing, because I don't like my thing. Like I don't know if they showed it, but something that I was talking about, like for me, like it's sad when you find like an amazing piece, but it's like you're at that cusp, you know, where it's plus size or regular size, so it doesn't fit, and you're like, oh gosh, like I wish it could fit. But with Macy's, they offer you all sizes, so it's nice that everyone could have your designs.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome. And your dress was really beautiful. I love the sheer sleeves.
And I loved the red one.
Thank you. Did you see the shoes, guys?
No.
Oh my gosh, they didn't zoom into the shoes. Those shoes are called the Night Walkers. They have like a no heel in the back.
Oh.
And I wear them all the time during the show.
Who makes them?
It's by Jeffrey Campbell.
Oh, okay. Jeffrey Campbell, yeah.
So it was really fun to do something like about the shoes, even though they didn't show. I was like, I love my shoes. I put them on there just so I could do my little statement.
Well, you got bought, and so did Daniel. So Daniel got a pretty high bid, right? He got a $175,000 bid from Express, which was huge. And for him, I think he really needed that.
Yeah,
because
he hadn't been bought for a while.
Yeah, and he was really nervous. And then Saks also bid $60,000.
Yeah, so I was really trying to, like, you know, as like I mentioned before, trying to help him get sold, because, you know, we're gonna win together, and it's two, so it's like it shouldn't be hard for us to work together as two. I mean, we're both very like drama, like just like really excited. I think we're too passionate about our designs that we're just like no, yes, no, and yes. So we just have to keep on going. But I was really excited that we made it through, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was funny when Nicole sat you down when you guys first had that fight. And she was like, I don't care if you guys ever talk to each other again. You just need to make it through this challenge. And then I think that kind of both clicked for you guys, or at least it seemed like it. And then y'all were like, okay, we have to do this together. And, you know, like you both just put it aside. And then y'all came out with that amazing piece.
Oh my God.
That was like my favorite look so far of the season, just because it was like, you have to get both of those pieces. And that was so brilliant on y'all's part, because y'all were the only ones that thought of that. Like, if they buy the top, they have to buy the bottom, because it looked so good together. You could not
like
not
a dress.
buy it.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
the printed one too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And something that they didn't show in the show is that like I was saving like these sequin swatches, and I was like, when am I going to take out sequins? Because it's like you have to be really careful when you do sequins, because it could go bad or it could be really fabulous. And then Daniel had like a swatch of like this faux leather, and then when we got together and we just like, you know, made up and everything, I was like, okay, I'm bringing out my treasures, okay? I have this. And then he's like, I have this. And I was like, okay, so let's do this. It was really nice that we like gave it all. We really brought like our things that we were kind of saving for the right moment in that night, and it really showed, because the dresses really complemented each other. And with the funny, I love that episode because I didn't know everyone else is freaking out. Like, you know, everyone was like, oh my gosh, your skirt was amazing, and Hunter's like saying this and that.
Oh,
I didn't
Hunter
know.
like lost her mind. I think she was just like, oh my God, I'm not the best. Like, I kind of feel like that's how she feels on the show. Like,
I do too.
You know, especially when she's like, oh, I've already been in Saks, I've already been in here, and everybody else is, you know, like, y'all are very well established, but not as her. And so that was like the moment where I was like, ooh, she's feeling the competition now. So yeah, she like, went in a tizzy.
Yeah, but it was funny because you never know like what's going on. Like when you hear, like when we were seeing all these comments from people behind the scenes, like we don't know because we're working and like interviews are like, you know, aside when we're like, they put them to the side and everyone's working. So we don't hear things. So when we were watching the show, we're like, oh my gosh, what a great compliment.
Yeah. That's true. You had some amazing styles, but at this episode, unfortunately, you and Cassandra, who wasn't were on the bottom too.
Yeah.
And Johana, they sent you home. I was shocked.
I was so sad.
I was so shocked, to be honest. Like, I was like, oh no. I was like, this is easy. Like, even at the beginning of the episode, I kind of like always try and predict who they're going to send home. And I was like, oh, Cassandra, you know. How did you feel? Were you expecting that, or what were your thoughts like going through your head?
I didn't. I mean, of course, you never expect to be like, you know, voted off, but I just didn't. I mean, I didn't see it coming. I mean, the whole point of the show is to sell and to make sure you design for these like department stores, and to make sure that if you do win Fashion Star, you're gonna make sure that your clothes are selling, because if it doesn't sell and they buy all this stuff from you, like that's a failure, you know what I mean? So I did not see it coming, but I mean, I was really excited the way it happened. It was pretty fabulous. I mean, winning a car and winning the challenge, and it was, I mean, at least I left like a super diva.
Yeah,
you did.
At least you left with the car.
I know.
But I have to say, I'm disappointed because I loved seeing what you design. And
Thank you.
And you mentioned this too. It seems like it's like a common theme with your designs. You said it like you want to design for every woman.
Yeah.
And it does seem like from the designs I've seen from you, you put a lot of thought into that and to really make it flattering and fit well. So I'm disappointed I won't see more of that.
Thank you. But you will, guys, because, you know, I'm doing a lot of things. And the show just gave me that opportunity. So now you guys know me, and now everyone could follow me. And, like, you know, there's so many things that are coming on my way that you're going to see. And it's just really amazing to have been in the show and have Nicole Richie as my mentor. And, I mean, these stores are huge. And to be in them is just, like, a big blessing, you know?
So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the things that are going on and all that stuff?
So I have my Glaudy collection. That's my brand.
Okay.
I focus on doing a lot of celebrity work, and I do a lot of couture. And that's something that, like, for instance, they're talking a lot about Daniel, how he's struggling with this and that. That's why I was always like, how could you struggle? Like, I do couture, and I design for big brands, 7 Jeans, and all these other brands. I've done, you know, Eli Tahari. I've done Isaac Mizrahi. So it was just like having that balance, you know, like in the show, I was like, okay, if I'm going to make something for these like corporate, like big stores, you know, I need to make sure it's something for every woman.
So what you're saying is that you felt that with Daniel, he was acting as if it was difficult for him because he's so couture, but you also come from that couture background. But you had to have, do you also have that mass market kind of training as well?
Yes.
Or what, are you mostly couture?
I do both.
Yeah.
But my own brand is mainly couture.
And what is your brand?
My brand is called Glaudy. It's called Glaudy Collection. You find it online. I sell it online too. And it's very specific for, like, I designed for the Princess of Greece and Denmark. I do, like, I got the Best Dressed with Paulina Rubio before. And I do tours for Gloria Trevi. And I do a lot of work with the Real Housewives of Miami and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Oh, really?
So,
I love that.
Yeah. So I really love designing for that woman who's confident or who wants to feel like very empowered and very like I always mention, like, you don't need to be overdressed in order to stand out. Like, for instance, like this top, like, remember when it came down the runway, it had a blue skirt, like color on color, and it was just royal blue with the beautiful necklace. It looked so elegant, you know, but yet she did not have sequins. She did not have a big gown, but she stood out from the crowd, like in a big way. So that's what my collection is. It's very for that modern woman who's confident, who wants to be sexy, but yet, you know, sophisticated.
So did you have a lot of this going on before going on to Fashion Star?
Yeah, I've been a head designer for different corporate brands, like multi-million-dollar brands, since I was 19.
Oh, wow.
So, yes, I've been designing for big brands, but the reason why I went to Fashion Star is because I've designed for all these big brands, you know, but it's always the brand name, so no one ever knows Johana Hernandez is a little brain designing all these things, you know. So it was really nice to go on the show and finally show, like, my own name. And with Glaudy, my own collection, I've had it for 2.5 years. It's going for my 3rd year, and it's just amazing. I mean, I was sponsored by Motorola when I launched my collection. We launched the Bluetooth with my runway, and since then I'm gonna do a lot of fashion critics, like with the red carpets. I do best and worst dress, so watch out, guys. So there's a lot of things that I do that, you know, like, since there's so many of us, we don't have time to share it on there. But it's just been amazing. That's why I think, like, this opportunity is just going to bring it to the next level, you know?
Yeah. So maybe give us a little bit more dish on, say, Fashion Star itself. Like, is there anything on being on the show that we as viewers don't see that might be interesting to learn?
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, like, we're like a hot mess in there. Like, you saw our hair. It's like over here. I have my glasses. Like, it is, you get tired, like you're working so hard. So all of us were tired. Like, you saw people with dark circles. Like, that's the part I think that like the viewers don't see that much, is that how much work, because it's an hour, with all of us. So it's like how hard we're working, and we're just like tired, but we're still going, and that's like the thing. Like, when you want to finish something, when you want to do something, you have to like just make sure you last until the end, and that's the thing. And no sleep, a little bit of sleep, and having like all this drama around you, and having to be focused and remember about the buyers. And the thing is, like, what buyer are you going to try to focus on? You have to remember all three. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is to be focused, to be able to work late hours, long hours, and not being able to rest. And, it's a reality show, so you really work your butt off.
So when you said you're trying to think of the different buyers. When you're going in there, do you think, okay, this is going to sell to this person this time?
Actually, well, you kind of, like, what I wanted to do is I want to make sure if I designed something, it could go to all three. That's why we always had bid wars, and Mason Express was one of the ones that had the most bid wars. That's why when I saw them, like, nominate me off, I was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like, they've been fighting for me every single episode, So, so that's what you want to do. You want to design something that's not just specific to Saks only, or to Express only, because then what if Saks doesn't like it? Then you're eliminated,
So do you, now that you have been in the stores and you are eliminated from the show, do you have the opportunity to now go and sell to these large department stores again? Do you feel like this maybe opened up the doors for that?
Yeah, you do have this opportunity to continue. It's really up to each contestant how they want to take this opportunity, you know what I mean? And for me, like, it's been really amazing. Like, I sell to big department stores, when I design for other brands and my own brand. And it's just a great, like, it just opens bigger doors for more people to see you and more people to buy you, So it's just really amazing to be on the show.
Awesome.
Cool. I have some questions, but did you have any?
No, keep going. I feel like I've been asking questions.
So who do you feel was your biggest competition when you were in the show?
To be honest with you, like, I think the biggest competition is always yourself. Because if you, like, you just have to make sure you give it your best. And if you don't give it your best and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I suck, I do this or that, you're not going to do good. But if you feel good about yourself and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to sell, like, I think that's the biggest competition. Because I know there's a lot of designers that, like, sometimes we're having, like, oh my gosh, like, doubts about their designs. And, there was times where I also had, like, when I did the Plus Challenge, I had doubt about this fabric and it didn't go right because I wasn't focused. So I think the biggest competition would be yourself.
Okay, well, I'll ask another question. So then who do you feel was really, really talented then of the other designers?
Well, I mean, I think everyone's so talented. I think, everyone's very different, and everyone, the problem is I can't really choose one because everyone had a different taste. There's some people that you're like, hey, I don't understand this, but then the buyers buy it. But so everyone has a different niche, I think.
Was there anybody there, like, obviously your partner was Daniel, but was there anybody else there that you felt like y'all would have been a good team to collaborate with?
Oh, I loved Garrett and Jessie Ray. Like, we got along so well. I think it was beautiful, and I loved that we got along so well and we helped each other. Like, there was times, like, I think it was when we did the summer challenge, the summer team challenge, he needed some nude fabric. So when I went to get fabric, like, I got fabric for him. They didn't show that there, but, like, I mean, I really felt like it was good. Like, I know he was a good person. It was nice that he would do that for me. So I helped him out. He helped me out. So it was nice that I could work with him as a team. And imagine if we were a team, we would really, like, be amazing together.
And and maybe because you guys have the local or the LA kind of bond as well.
Yeah.
Because they're from here and you're from here, Los Angeles as well. So is there anything that, like, the fans out there maybe don't know about you that would be interesting for them to know?
Yeah, I think it's really I didn't know if I had the time to share this, but I'm from Compton, California, a city that's not known for glamour and fashion. And I've been able to be very successful at a young age since I was 19. Like, I travel the world and this is like what I do. Like I design for big corporate brands and I have my own, and it's just really nice to share it with everyone and to know that it doesn't matter where you come from, you could achieve your dreams. And if you're very like focused, like the doors are wide open. It's just about matter of you just taking that risk to do it. Because for me to go on Fashion Star, you know, I have a job, like I design full-time for corporate brands and I have my own brand. So for doing the show and being away from that, like I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna be in this house like for a month or whatever it takes, and I'm just gonna be out, like I'm gonna be blocked from the world. So but I took that risk and I think it paid off because I was able to sell to all these stores.
So can you tell us about that process? Like what was it like? You heard that they were casting, and then you decided to, you know, submit for it, and then like, can you kind of tell us about that?
Yeah, so I heard that they were casting. My friend Ernesto actually told me about it, and he's like, you could do this. This is what you do. You should try it. And the difference about Fashion Star, again, is like it's all about retail. Like you have to be a designer that understands the business side, not only design crazy pieces that only like you could have museums or celebrities in music videos, you know? So I was like, wow, like that's perfect, you know? And I was actually in China when they were having the auditions in LA, so I had to go to San Francisco. And when I went there was this huge line around Macy's, and I was like, oh, I'm excited because I have all my things, you know, and I'm going to have one-on-one, like the way I'm talking to you guys. No, it was crazy. Like you go into this big room and there's like 20 tables and you have 3 minutes to talk about yourself. And I'm never like a nervous person. Like I feel like I'm very like confident and I know like who I am and I could talk about myself. But for that moment, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my gosh. And they're like, are you nervous? I was like, yeah, you gave me 3 minutes to talk about myself.
My whole life
like,
story.
I know, like, how am I going to tell you everything that I'm doing if I have 3 minutes to talk about myself? But thank God it went great. But there was like a lot of processes, like, you know, you get into that level where they like you and then you go to another level and you go to another level. And I mean, there's so, like, you talk about yourself so much, so you start remembering things that like, oh my gosh, I remember when I was little and I was like this. You know, like, so it's pretty intense, but I'm glad that I was able to like get through that whole part. I mean, it took like almost 3 months to
the casting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's like thousands, like I heard like over 16,000 or something crazy like that, and they only chose 12. So just imagine that's just already like a winning thing of itself, you know?
So what was it like getting that call? Like,
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it because they call you so many times to ask you about other things, like, do you have this? Or what about this? So when I heard it, she was like, oh, you made it to this Fashion Star. You're chosen to be Fashion Star.
God.
I was like, okay. and then I was like, okay, I'll get back to you. And I was like, and then I called back and I'm like, wait, what did you say? And then she told me, like, you know, you made it to the show. And I was like, and I called her again the next day because I felt like I didn't hear her right. I was shocked because, you know, like, again, like, I'm this girl from Compton, California, and I'm a designer, and I just felt like, wow, like, they chose me from all these people. Like, that is, like, I don't know. I was just in shock. Like,
Surreal. I
know that, you know, I love my work, and I love what I do, and I've been able to, you know, be successful because of that, but just to be chosen, it's like, wow.
Well, I think you could see even here talking to you, you're so passionate about what you do and everything, and it just radiates. So I'm not surprised that you were chosen. And plus, you're super talented.
Thank you.
But it sounds like prior to Fashion Star, you were already pretty successful in working. And like you said, you came from Compton. And what was your biggest break?
For me, I think it was actually my first job. My first job as a head designer at 19. I remember
With what company?
It was with a small contemporary company at the time. It's no longer. It's called Babina Jeans, Cappuccino Jeans. And then after that, I designed Hannah Montana's line for Walmart and Target. And then I did like.
So how
Jonas
are you
Brothers
able
line.
to, at 19, land a job like that?
Yeah, so the story is pretty crazy. So my family, they came from El Salvador and they started working in sweatshops here in LA. So I was around that environment growing up because my parents were low income. So over the weekends, I would hang out in the sweatshops, and I was little, I was nosy. You know, you're nosy. I'm like, Dad, what's that? Mom, what's that? And my dad would sew. They would sew for like Calvin Klein, like the big labels here in LA back in the day. And I just learned from there. And then after in high school, like I would always be involved in like fashion shows, beauty shows, like everything. Like, and
You gravitated towards that.
but I never knew I was going to be a designer. So then when I went to FIDM at like 18 and a half.
Yeah,
so I went to FIDM at 18 and a half. I told Dad I want to be a buyer, you know, like Caprice Willards.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be a buyer because I felt like that was something that's secure job, that you know it's a business. It's not like you're trying to be a fashion designer. To me, a fashion designer, growing up, knowing how my parents didn't have a lot of money, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's like being a rock star. Like everyone wants to be a rock star. You know what I mean? Like I don't think I could be a rock star. So then, but when I went to the school, they're like, you should be a designer. And I was like, no. I was like, my parents don't have a lot of money. I don't want to be like selfish and have them spend money. And what if it doesn't come true, you know? So my first quarter in school, they were like, fine, we're going to let you do merchandising and we'll see how it goes and then we'll talk again.
That must have been horrible.
Yeah. So
that's like the worst major.
But wait, what happened was, it was my first quarter. I didn't even finish my first quarter because my friend was like, she knew I was like a total nerd. I'm like, I love fashion and I'm doing all of my homework and, you know, getting A's, all of this. She's like, there's an interview that's coming up that someone's looking for a merchandiser. You should go see them. So I go see them. I'm like about 19 years old, not even finished with my first quarter. And this guy's like, you should be a designer. Why are you coming to me? And I'm like, what are you talking about? I want this job. He's like, well, I guess his brother, who was like a company across the street, was looking for a designer. So that's what happened.
What made them think, though, when you coming in for the merchandising interview, what made them think you should be a designer?
Because my portfolio. It was all fashion. It was all illustrations, the way I spoke. I talked about numbers, too, in merchandising, but my portfolio, the way I spoke, the ideas that I brought to the table, like the way my...
You had a passion.
Yeah, like, that's what they, like, saw. And I think, you know, when they see, like, I mean, for me, like, now I hire people under me to work for me. And, if I see a talent, like, I always take them to that department because I feel like that's where they're going to grow, you know? So from there, he took me to his brother and I got the job. And when I got the job, I really didn't even think they were going to pay me. I was like, yay, I'm in the industry. And then when I got my first paycheck, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just got paid.
Doing what I love.
Yeah. And then I went to China and I've been going to China since then and to Europe to go shopping. And it's just been really great. It's been like amazing. So I think that has really, like, I always share that story because it's like, you never know when you're going to go. Like, so if you have an interview that you think you don't like it's something that you're not like, you never know if they're going to see you and they're going to be like, wait, you're so good at this, go to here. You know what I mean? So it's all about taking risks, never saying no to things and just going with your heart and just believing in yourself, which is the most important thing.
And that goes off of, that's probably the answer to my next question, but that's to say, if someone's listening who's like an aspiring designer, maybe they're from a background that maybe isn't the most, you know, like you said, it's kind of
the most glamorous.
Yeah. And what are some pieces of advice that you would give them? Yeah,
always take opportunities as they come. Like, even if you think it's something little, like be an intern for a brand that's not even so popular, like go for it, you know? And when you start, don't go for the money, go for the experience and what's going to be in your portfolio, because that's what's going to get you to be at that income that you want. So just you remember, go to school. Make sure you go to school for it. I know they always say don't go to school for it, but I think it does help you. You know, they show you like the base things. I mean, when I got my first job, I was my first quarter, so I didn't know much, but I know that I went to school while I was at the job, so I was able to apply it while working, you know? So I think it's really important to just stay focused, believe in yourself, try new things, and just, if someone shuts the door on you, just open a bigger one, you know what I mean? And just make yourself grow, you know? So, I mean, the sky's the limit. Don't give up, guys.
You're just like a ball of positivity.
You're so positive. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I have to agree with the school thing, too, though. Like, I have a clothing line as well, and there's one thing about being really passionate about fashion, but at the same time, you have to have a good business sense as well.
Yeah.
And for me, it's my background is more the business sense, and I've always had an interest in fashion, but having that business background is huge.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of talented designers that don't have that, and unfortunately, they don't go that far.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you have that great mix of both. Of that passion and fashion, but also
you just have to like learn and like be open-minded, you know, because you know the business side isn't so much fun, but you know, if you want to be like a worldwide known designer like Marc Jacobs, like Johana Hernandez, like all the big designers, like they know the business side. Marc Jacobs now has shoes. He has his own brand that's even like Marc Jacobs. He has his licensing. Like that's a businessman. You know what I mean? He knows like how to target to everyone, and that's so important.
All right. Well, I think we're kind of wrapping things up. Anything else, Johana, you want people to know about?
Yeah,
or
just follow me on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram.
Give it out.
Yeah,
give
so my
info.
Twitter is at Glaudy Johana. My website.
Can you spell that for us?
It's GLAUDI Johana, which is JOHANA. So it's at Glaudy Johana, and my website is glaudycollection.com. And then my Facebook is Glaudy by Johana Hernandez. And then you could just find everything. If you go to my website, Glaudy Collection, you'll find all my Instagrams and Facebooks. But I really love sharing, like when I'm traveling or I'm working with big celebrities, like I always post pictures. If I'm like being a diva one day, like I'll post my diva shot.
Well, isn't that every day? I feel like you're a diva.
Diva every day. She's an amazing diva.
I'm not, I promise. No, but another thing is also I have a charity. I have a charity that I do fashion, music, art events. So that's how my brand started. I wanted to help little kids in Latin America. So I did it with getting all these celebrities and, you know, all these like students that really wanted to be designers and get like the people who are professional and people who are coming up to like bring them together to like, you know, help them. And at the same time, you're helping kids that don't have shoes, to live in little houses made out of mud in Latin America. And it was really nice to have, you know, I have a charity called Latinos con Corazón, and I do that once a year with my best friend and a bunch of friends. So I have that going on too.
That's awesome.
You
That's
are just
really
so fabulous. Like, you're, like, and you're only 26. How is that possible? Wow.
We don't sleep, guys.
Yeah. No, you're such an inspiration for designers and up and coming people, and we're so glad to have had you here. And guys out there, if you're listening, if you're watching us on I'll say Facebook. If you're watching us on YouTube, go to iTunes, rate us, give us 5 stars, leave comments. You don't have to give us 5 stars, but we hope you would like to. Tell a friend. Let everyone know about what we're doing here at AfterBuzz. And yeah, hopefully you have some good stuff to say and that we're giving you content that you want. So I guess then, Virginia, where can everyone find you?
You guys can find me at Virginia Reyna, or you can also go to yourstrulyle.com.
And I am your host, Erika Vieira, and you can find me on Twitter at Erika Vieira LA, and also my clothing line as well. It's called rallybabe.com. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.